episode of the Alamo City Sportscast with Mike Jimenez and Joe Garcia. Make sure to subscribe and hit that like button. Join the discussion as we broadcast live from beautiful West San Antonio. And remember to tip your hosts as it helps the show grow.
What's up, San Antonio? What's going on, South Texas? This is the Alamo City Sportscast coming at you from the west side of San Antonio. My name is Michael Jimenez. That is Joe Garcia. It is Friday, Joe. And what happens on Friday?
We don't give a damn.
We don't give a damn on Fridays, man. We do have a special guest coming on in about 10 minutes or so. Johnny Walker, former Texas Longhorns legend, former Holmes Husky legend, member of the Texas High School Football Hall of Fame, will be on to talk about the big matchup tomorrow between the Texas Longhorns, Michigan Wolverines. Johnny Walker, a very good guy. He's been in studio before. Last year he was in studio.
Yeah.
He is back today. Again, big matchup. I just realized, Joe, if Texas wins this game, they're going to be number one in the country.
We'll see where they stack up in the polls. You know how they don't like to put Texas number one.
You go into Michigan, you go into Ann Arbor, even if you're the favorite, you beat the defending champions, you better be number one at that point.
I don't know if they're going to be number one. I'll say they're going to be enthralled in controversy. Even though if they do beat Michigan, I bet you anything they're going to be in the top three, but not number one.
They moved up to the top three last week after beating Colorado State. They got one first place vote in the AP, but I think they win this game. They're going to be in the driver's seat.
You think
number
so?
one, yeah. We have a lot to get into today. First of all, what a great game last night between the Chiefs and Ravens. Literally decided by inches. Not in inches. They say it's a game of inches. It was a game of half an inch. Toe on the line. Chiefs win that game tonight. We have another NFL matchup. We've got the Eagles and Jets.
Matt Gomez says, everyone check your toes.
Everyone check your toes, baby. Our YouTube stream is up and running, so we're live on YouTube. We're live on Twitter as well. If you're on YouTube and Facebook, rather, if you're on YouTube, you can be part of the show by leaving a comment. We see Sam Salinas, Matt Gomez, Chris Gonzalez already in the threads today. Tony Ornelas is up today. Dude, got some bad news, man, to report. Oh, my goodness. My dog Daisy's missing. So Daisy I've had for 11 years, and she runs away once a week for the last 11 years, and that is not exaggeration, right? She just excavates, dude. She digs out of the yard. So yesterday, I'm gonna throw my daughter in the bus. She was supposed to bring the dog back in, but never did. And by the time I realized that Daisy was out, I thought to myself, you know what? She'll come back. She always does, right? She always comes back, and someone will post a photo of her on the Facebook page for the neighborhood, and someone will say, hey, Michael, your dog is out. She didn't have her tags on, though, because the last time she got out, they got ripped off. So last night I'm thinking to myself, she'll come back, right? Baby, come back. Daisy, come back. So I put the post on the Facebook page for our neighborhood, and no response. About 4 hours later, I finally get a response from somebody saying, I think they found your dog about a mile away. So she sends me these photos, and it's a different app, the Nextdoor app.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Saying, we found a dog over here, yada, yada, yada. So I respond back to that post, and no response. Hour goes by, no response. So I look up the guy's name, and I'm like, okay, well, I'll go on the Bexar County Appraisal District, and I'll find his address.
Yeah.
Found the guy's address, lives about a mile away. I go over there, lots of cars. I'm thinking to myself, oh, they're watching football, right?
Yeah.
Lots of cars.
Johnny Walker.
Ring the doorbell. Nobody's there. Nobody's there. But it's a Ring camera, right?
Yeah.
So the guy comes out on the speaker and goes, can I help you? And I'm like, yeah, my dog's missing. I'm sorry, but I did some investigative work to find out where you live. Can I have my dog back? And he goes, yeah, your dog is with us. It's in the backyard. No one's home right now, but you can do yourself a favor. Unlock the gate. Go back there. I have other animals out there. Just go back out there. Open the gate. Went all the way back there. She escaped from there.
Oh, man.
They sent me Ring video at 8:37 p.m. last night where Daisy was making her way out of that yard back onto the streets. She belongs to the streets. So it's been now 20 hours. I just went up and down the streets just right now. Can't find her. Dude, I think she's gone. Part of me is a little bit relieved because it's like one of those things where she's an old dog anyway. I think someone's going to take her in. But at the same time, part of me is a little bit sad. But
Force them out.
I got Duncan and Cody to keep me company. Those are big ass dogs. You can't miss those two dogs.
Yeah.
But again, she was last seen last night, 8:37 p.m. Arcadia Ridge, West Bexar County. Let's see if she turns up. Mike Jimenez here, Joe Garcia. We do have a special guest today. Let's go ahead and bring him on in because I know he's working today. We have Texas Longhorns great Holmes Husky, fellow Holmes Husky.
That's it. Yeah.
I got to remind you, I'm a former Holmes Husky myself.
That's right.
We got Johnny Walker, man, former legend of the Southwest Conference, baby, the best conference that ever existed in college football.
Yeah.
Johnny, got to ask you a question, man. We started the show by saying this. This week's matchup, tomorrow's matchup, 11 a.m. on Fox, you've got the Texas Longhorns, Michigan Wolverines. I believe if the Longhorns win this game, they're going to be number one in the nation come Monday. Your thoughts?
Ooh, that's a good one, man. I tell you what, I think the interesting thing is to think about these two storied programs. This is only the second time they played. I mean, can you believe that this is the second time Texas has played Michigan, with the first time playing in 2005 when we won the Rose Bowl with Vince Young doing an incredible job being the MVP of the game. So that's a tough one. I watched Georgia play last week, and they look really good. They look good. So I don't know about number one, but I definitely could see us being number two. For sure.
Now Georgia did play a good team in the first game of the season, so they've got Tennessee Tech coming in. Come on, man. Georgia's favored by 55 points tomorrow against Tennessee Tech. So what I'm saying is UT goes out, beats the defending champions. I know there's no more Harbaugh. I get that. But you go in there, you beat the defending champions convincingly. And I think that's going to happen. I think UT will get a lot of votes when it comes to it. But here's my question for you about tomorrow's game. Should there be an expectation that the Longhorns win this game? Because from Vegas standpoints, Vegas is favored on the road by 7. I never thought you'd have a road team go into Ann Arbor favored by 7.
You know what? I can see that, and I can tell you that I was a little worried going into this season with losing, 80% of the offense, Xavier Worthy. A shout out to Xavier Worthy. I don't know if you watched the game last night.
Most definitely.
The first time he ever touches the football in an NFL game, he takes it to the house. Adonai Mitchell, JT Sanders, CJ Baxter having an injury. You lose a lot of your offense. But I want to say when I saw the receiving core and some of the receivers that they brought in through the transfer portal, Isaiah Bond, Silas Bolden, Matthew Golden, I mean, they just have an incredible receiving core. I don't think I've ever seen a receiving core with this much talent and this much explosiveness. You know, I even forgot to put in Ryan Wingo, who looks like the second coming of Randy Moss. So they have an explosive offense, and I can see them putting up some points. So I think any team that they play is going to be worried about how quick and how aggressive this offense is going to be able to be.
Ryan Wingo with 70 yards receiving in the game against Colorado State. Isaiah Bond had 61 yards and a touchdown. So you're telling me that Quinn Ewers has people to play with, has some weapons around him.
He got some weapons. He's got some weapons. They have really done a great job, and shout out to Coach Sarkisian. He's done a great job of retooling the Texas offense, and they look really good. I was surprised. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was surprised to see how well. I think Jaden Blue stepped up real well at the running back. Trey Wisner made some good plays as well. Like I said, they look really good offensively, and hey, they pitched a shutout on the defensive end. Being able to replace such stalwarts as Devondre Sweat and who's the other defensive line? Byron Murphy. I mean, they were able to get some guys to step up and make some big plays on defense. So, like I said, I'm excited. They looked really good on both sides of the ball.
Now, Tim Gonzalez, one of our viewers, has a question right now. It's a comment saying, hey, Johnny, Texas running backs need to stay healthy this season. Yeah. I know they lost 2 during training camp over the summer. What are your thoughts on the running game for the Longhorns?
I thought Jaden Blue looked really good. I knew that coming into last year, toward the end of the season, he really stepped up his game. And I think he just picked up where he left off from last season against Colorado State. Trey Wisner looked good at running back, too. I mean, he's been anxiously looking for a chance. I mean, look at this kid. He was probably 4th on the depth chart And you have these two injuries at the beginning of the season, and now he's getting a chance to be able to prove what he can do as a running back, and I think he's done a great job. I think the freshman Jared Gibson also did a good job at running, and they've been able to move Ryan Niblett from wide receiver over to running back, and he's got a couple of times to carry, and he's looked good as well. So I think the running game is in good hands. I mean, I think it's going to be running back by committee, but I think each one of those individuals have done an outstanding job.
Yeah, you mentioned Jared Gibson, 10 carries for 67 yards and a touchdown. Jadon Blue had 57 yards on 11 carries. Like you said, it was by committee because a little bit of everybody had to run. 41 rush attempts on Saturday's game compared to just 33 passing attempts. Dare I say that this is a balanced offense, that they're going to try to beat you in many ways?
I would say it's a balanced offense, but I look for them to throw the ball a little bit more against Michigan. I'm going to tell you, it is going to be amazing to be able to keep all these receivers happy because they're just so much talent. I mean, it looked like every time you looked up, there was another receiver making a big play, and they just were doing it all day long. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how they're going to be able to spread the ball. Quinn Ewers has his handful being able to spread the ball around to all these great receivers that they have.
I got to ask you a question, Johnny. I know everybody in Texas is rooting for the Longhorns, big Longhorn fans out here. Everybody's liking to bleed burnt orange.
That's right.
What Mike is saying is if Texas beats Michigan in this game, will Texas, UT, will they be the number one team?
I felt sorry for Georgia last year. I'm not gonna lie. I thought losing that one game, championship game, and not being able to go to the playoffs. I would like to say that I will say this: Texas will have the opportunity to play for the national championship. They'll be one of the top two teams in the country. I think it's a little early to say that Texas will be number one if they beat Michigan, but they will definitely get some number one votes. I can say that. So they'll be number one and number two when they come out Ann Arbor with a victory.
Now, the Michigan Wolverines do have a new quarterback. J.J. McCarthy was drafted in the first round this year. So that's a thing, right? I mean, that's got to be something there. You have an inexperienced quarterback out there that the Longhorns defense can go out there and take advantage of. Is that going to be the primary focus that you think of this game? Just go after the quarterback and make his life difficult?
Well, Davis Warren's come in with a lot of hype. So, but again, with the coaching change, I mean, that's a big transition going from John Harbaugh to Sharon Moore, and I think the jury is still out on how successful Michigan is going to be. I want to say that we haven't seen the best of Michigan, so I'm glad to be able to play them early. So that's definitely a benefit. That's definitely a benefit. It's going to be tough to be able to live up to what they did last year. They've had a lot of transition. It's hard losing your big time quarterback and J.J. McCarthy coming in with a new quarterback and a new coach. So it'll be interesting to see how things all end up for Michigan.
The new quarterback for the Michigan Wolverines didn't have that big of a game, man. Davis Warren, first game of the season. Barely over 50% accuracy, 15 for 25, 118 yards, one touchdown, one interception. They only had 13 points going into the fourth quarter, so they weren't lighting it up. So maybe, just maybe, Vegas has this right. Maybe, just maybe, the Longhorns are going to go into Ann Arbor and kick some ass out there early and often.
I think 7-point victory is a little modest. I honestly believe if Texas comes in hitting all cylinders and they start off like they did against Colorado State, throwing the ball and making some big plays, it might be embarrassing for Michigan Wolverines in Ann Arbor. I got a feeling that Texas is going to put up some numbers and it's going to force Michigan to do something they don't really like to do, and that's pass the football. I think we got a real good chance of really blowing them out this game.
One of my best friends, Alex, is flying to Chicago, renting a car, and going to Ann Arbor for tomorrow's game, kickoff at 11 o'clock. Let's talk about the quarterbacks of UT, because I said this earlier this week. UT fans got the best of both worlds. Number one, they got to see Quinn Ewers play very, very well. He's projected to be a first-round draft pick in the NFL draft this upcoming season. But then we also got to see the future. Arch Manning go out there and not only pass for a touchdown, but rush for one as well. What were your thoughts of the quarterback play, and how big is it for Arch Manning to get real minutes for the future?
Well, I can say this. I think the best thing that's happened for Archie Manning is that he didn't have to come in and start right off the back. I think he's had the opportunity to grow up and mature, get a good understanding of the offense. And I think that when he gets the opportunity to go in, as we saw, he's able to make some big time plays. It's very important for him to be able to get as much playing time as he can this year, because I know that he's going to have to carry the load next year. And he's got a great person in Quinn Ewers to be able to mold and develop his skills as a quarterback. Quinn Ewers is just phenomenal. I think with all the talent that they've got, I think there's just the sky's the limit. I mean, you're looking at a chance for this kid to be one of the finalists in the Heisman Trophy.
Yeah, Quinn Ewers, 3 touchdown passes, just 1 interception. As you mentioned, Arch Manning got to show his legs as well. You know, it's more than just the arm. He's more versatile than we think. It was fun to watch. Speaking of fun things to watch, last night, Xavier Worthy. Okay, Xavier Worthy, you mentioned first time touching the ball, rushes in for a touchdown, catches a touchdown later on. I mean, let's just give the guy the Rookie of the Year award right now. So wasn't that such a great pick by the Chiefs? The Chiefs at one point had Tyreek Hill, let him go to the Dolphins, and you get the fastest guy at the combine. You get the guy who has handles, the guy who can run the ball, and the Chiefs make everybody look stupid because they get him with basically the last pick in the draft in the first round. What were your thoughts on Xavier Worthy's performance last night?
I was so happy to see Xavier Worthy excel, and it doesn't surprise me. I mean, this is the same thing he did when he was at the University of Texas. But we got to clarify, I think he has the fastest time of all time in the 40 after that combine. I think he ran like a 4.21, which is just ridiculous. But you got to see a display of that speed on that reverse play that they did. I mean, he was just flying through the line. I mean, it's a blink of an eye. He was in the end zone for a touchdown. But kudos to the Chiefs. I mean, they've always not listened to what all the naysayers say, and drafted Xavier Worthy, and he's shown that that was a very good pick, and he's going to have a great season this year.
Not only was he picked by the Kansas City Chiefs, the Chiefs moved up.
Yes, sure did.
Or they did a trade with Buffalo to get Xavier Worthy. Cowboys picked one player behind them at 29 to get Tyler Guyton. Don't get me wrong, the Cowboys do need help there at the offensive line, but my goodness, if Xavier Worthy was there.
Xavier Worthy, my goodness, yes. I mean, you could imagine him alongside CeeDee Lamb. That would have been frightening.
I mean, Cowboy fans are looking at themselves going, we could have had Xavier Worthy and could have had CeeDee Lamb on this team.
Oh my God, that would have been frightening. Yeah, that would have been great to see. But again, I think that he's with a great team. Patrick Mahomes just seems to amaze us every year with all the things that he does. He fits right in with what Kansas City is doing, and I see a big season for him this year, and I think he's going to be very successful with Kansas City Chiefs.
Again, the Chiefs did trade up, and this is what I say about the NFL draft: go get your guy.
Go get your
guy.
Him,
Move up.
Go get him.
My favorite football team is the Saints, right? Do you know what they're known for?
Goodness.
What they're known for the last 6-7 years was the fact that they were ready to draft Patrick Mahomes. And what did the Chiefs do? They moved up and got their guy. The Chiefs had the Chiefs not drafted Patrick Mahomes. Sean Payton has said several times that we had Patrick Mahomes as our first round draft pick. We were just waiting for the next pick. And what did the Chiefs do? They jump up and get Mahomes. They jump up and get Xavier Worthy. They just get their guy. They look at all these other teams. Look at 6th and 7th round picks in the draft like they're gold, like the Spurs with second rounders, right?
Yeah.
The Chiefs are looking at their first rounders going, no, the Texans most recently moving back up into the draft to get into a top 3 spot again. They look at like, no, we're going to get our star players first and worry about everything else later on. But what are your thoughts on last night's game? Last night's game, we saw the Chiefs beat the Ravens down to an inch.
I got to show the toe.
Oh my God.
For somebody
that was a hell of a catch. Man, that was a hell of a catch at the end.
For someone who's a wide receiver, right, to see the game end by someone's toe. Because when the touchdown was called, you saw the coach going, we're going for 2. We're not playing for overtime. We're going for the win. And then they're like, "Oh, you see the instant replay, and
There it is.
there's the toe."
Yeah, man. Oh my goodness, man.
For someone who's a wide receiver, how does this make you feel?
I was sick to my stomach, man. And if you watched it, you could see his expression. Isaiah Likely, I mean, man, what a hell of a catch! What a hell of a drive to be able to pull that off in Kansas City, no doubt. You know the storied history between Baltimore and Kansas City, the rivalry they have, and Kansas City pulling it out last year and eventually be able to go on and win the Super Bowl. But I thought it was just a hell of a football game. Now I will say this: I thought that the running back, Baltimore's new running back, I can't think of his name right now. Can't come to me.
The Derrick Henry.
Derrick Henry. I did think that Derrick Henry was going to do better than what he did against Kansas City. But I think they need a little time. It looks like the offensive line is young. They're getting used to being able to work together. But I think Baltimore is definitely going to be a team to reckon with. But Kansas City, again, man, they've got so many weapons. And they got one guy with Marquise. He's not even out there yet. I think they got another couple more weeks before he gets out there. So they got another speedy receiver that they'll be able to put out there. So they've got a lot of weapons, man. They're really going to be good.
I got to ask you, Johnny, man, in this matchup here, you have Mahomes versus Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson just can't seem to get over that hump when it comes to Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. This guy had several opportunities in this game, Lamar Jackson, where they're out they're in the red zone, and he misses his wide open guy in the end zone, man.
He missed two receivers in the end zone.
Lamar
Jackson now 1-4 all time against the Chiefs.
It's tough. You know what? He did miss a couple of receivers, but that last drive was miraculous. I mean, some of the plays that he made, some of the runs he made, he lost, but God, when he threw for 256 yards, ran for 100 and something yards. I mean, there's nothing else that he could possibly do. I mean, he did everything he possibly do. I mean, and then basically lose the game by a fingernail or toenail. I mean, it was ridiculous. But hats off to both of the quarterbacks. I mean, I thought it was a great game. But I think Baltimore is going to be something to reckon with. I think once they get Derrick Henry rolling, they're going to be tough to beat.
Man, if I had to give you the Chiefs or the field as to who's going to be the Super Bowl champion this year, Chiefs going for a three-peat or any other team, who are you taking, Chiefs or the field?
Ooh, man, that's a tough one, man. You know what? I'm gonna lean toward the Chiefs because I think when they get Marquise and they have Xavier and Marquise going at the same time, they're gonna be tough to beat. And I tell you what, I was impressed by Kansas City's defense. I mean, they're one of the top defenses in the league, and I think they're very much underrated. And they show just how good of a defensive unit they are. So they're gonna be tough to beat. They've got some weapons and they've got a pretty strong defense. I would probably take the Chiefs on that one.
Very nice. Talking to former Texas Longhorns legend Johnny Walker, member of the Texas High School Hall of Fame, home Husky as well. Can we bend your ear for two more topics real quick? Real fast. Got to talk about the Dallas Cowboys and the Houston Texans, right? Jerry Jones on the Stephen A. Smith show a couple of days ago coming out and saying, you do realize our team is better than last year. And Stephen A. Smith is looking at him like, you've got to be out of your mind. Are the Cowboys better or worse than last season? And in a 17-game schedule, are they making the playoffs? Are they a winning team? Because I have the Cowboys going 8-9 this year, 7-10 this year, missing the playoffs. What's your prediction for them?
I think that the biggest question that you've got to answer is what's going to happen in the running back room. I think that if Ezekiel Elliott can show any halfway signs of what he used to be, I think the Cowboys have a good chance. They're definitely going to have to show us something on the running game. We all know what CeeDee Lamb can do. I think that Brandon Cooks needs to be utilized more this year. They've always had a good offense. And talking about getting over the hump, look at Dak Prescott. I mean, what has he won? One playoff game, two playoff games in his career with the Dallas Cowboys. So. A lot is going to be. I think their defense is solid. They're going to be sound. I think it's that rushing game. And actually, I want to see them play Deuce Vaughn more. I'm trying to understand why they're not playing this guy more. Every time I've seen him play, he's shown some signs. I know you can't rely on him to be your workhorse, but I would like to see him get out on the field a little bit more.
Dalvin Cook was signed by the Cowboys. That's a blast from the past. I mean,
That is
another
a blast from the past.
that's another name, by the way, that you can look at. And you mentioned you mentioned these other backs that the Cowboys have. Zeke Elliott. I have no faith in Zeke Elliott at all, man. You look at his yards per carry get lower and lower and lower. Last year, less than 4 yards per carry. No faith.
So we're not going to see the feed me anymore. So what are you just going to throw him away now?
I don't think he can fit in that Salvation Army bucket anymore. I think he's going to eat his way out of the league.
Oh man.
But
cold, man.
You know, I'm looking at all these stories about the Cowboys, right? And there are reports out there that it might not even be Zeke Elliott. It might not even be Dalvin Cook. It may not even be that 5'5" speedster, 5'7" speedster. Could it be Rico Dowdle as RB1 when it's all said and done? Because I'm seeing reports out there from Dallas say that Rico Dowdle might actually be the running back that's looking the best at practice
the times that I've seen him get the ball and the times I've seen him play, he has shown signs. But to say that he's going to be the workhorse, I don't think that. I don't think he's good enough to be able to take the Dallas Cowboys to the championship. They need to. They're going to have to step up at the running back game to be able to take it that far. They really are going to have to do that because that takes a lot of the pressure off of Dak and CD because they're going to triple, quadruple cover CD Lamb and try to shut down Dallas's offense. So they're really going to have to find a back that they can work. I don't understand why they didn't take Derrick Henry. They had a good chance to get Derrick Henry. Mm-hmm. There were some very good backs that were available that Dallas could have gone to. But for whatever reason, they have their faith in Rico Dowdle, but I just don't think that he's good enough to take them to the promised land.
Now, that report about Rico Dowdle's coming from John Machota of The Athletic, formerly of the Dallas Morning News, has covered the Cowboys for a long, long time. So Dowdle might get some play, more run than we expect. Talking to Johnny Walker, Texas Longhorns legend, back in the day, Southwest Conference time, man. Love it all. Yeah. Houston Texans take the field. Oh, by the way, real fast, Cowboys are underdogs against the Browns this weekend. I think it's a 2.5 point spread. Who do you got? Cowboys or Browns on the road?
I'm a real big Deshaun Watson fan. I think that Cleveland has a very good football team. And if he can stay healthy, they're going to be very good this year. So I hate to say that. And I am a diehard Dallas Cowboy fan. I haven't seen enough in the running game to have any confidence in Dallas yet. I hope they prove me wrong, but I see Cleveland winning that football game.
Yeah, I do too. One reason why. Well, two reasons why. Myles Garrett is on the other side of the field, right? But the other thing is they're playing outdoors and in grass, and that is something that Dak Prescott does not do well in. He's kind of like the Rams back in the day, the greatest show on turf. Okay, you put him on grass, you put him outdoors. Dak Prescott is a...
Well, he's just like you, Mike. What do you say? You don't like being outdoors. You're an indoor dog.
I'm an indoor dog.
Same with Dak.
Exactly.
Hey, I got to ask you a question, Johnny. In your opinion, Dak Prescott, do you think he's going to be warranting of getting the $60 million plus price tag that he's asking? Is he a top 10 quarterback in this?
And before you answer that, by the way, the numbers were revised yesterday. What the dead cap space would be. The Cowboys, if they do not extend him, would have to eat 22% of their cap next year, $52 million, if they let him walk.
That's a tough question to answer. I think that Dak is one of the top 10 quarterbacks in the league. There's no question about that. But here's my problem. When it's time to show up in the big games, he hasn't shown me that. And that would warrant not getting the top dollar figure as salary wise as far as quarterbacks are concerned. He just hasn't shown up in the big games, and that will always be something that is going to be hung over his head. You got to be able to show up at every game. He does great during the season, all pro, but when the playoffs start, he just doesn't show up, man, and that's going to hurt him when it comes to trying to negotiating that salary.
One of my favorite comments, by the way, just right now, we just got it on Twitter from David Glasgow. He retweeted this show saying UT is going to dog walk Michigan tomorrow.
I don't want to get too excited, but man, Texas has a good football team, man. They really do, man. I don't think it's going to be close if they show up. I really don't. I think they should be able to blow out Michigan.
We have a $5 super chat coming in from the Drew Show, coming in saying, give KC's punter credit. Best in the league, pinned Baltimore inside the 7 to start that last drive. Jackson had seconds to make those last second throws and literally came up an inch short. Dude, I'm still at. We're all talking about the toe, right? But the last 2 plays before that, he had wide open receivers and he missed it.
He did. Yeah, he did miss it. He missed it. And it's easy to say this when we're watching. You don't have these 6'5", 300-pound guys chasing after me. He did miss a couple, but he was on the money a couple of times in that last drive. So I tend to lead toward he made some big time plays, and he pretty much kept them in the game. I think his play was just amazing. He did an incredible job of bringing them back and keeping them in the football game. And as far as I was concerned, he was my MVP of that game. So I think he did a great job.
Houston Texans start the season on the road against the Colts, 3-point favorites.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about the Texans this year?
We talk about the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm going to tell you, man, Houston Texans look really, really good. I honestly think that C.J. Stroud has just taken the Texans, as well as Domingo Ryan, has taken the Texans to a whole nother level. I think that they have a chance of beating Kansas City and being the AFC representative in the Super Bowl. I think they're that good of a football team.
Very nice. Talking to Johnny Walker, not only a Texas Longhorns legend, but also a former Holmes Husky legend as well back in the day. I'm a Husky myself. Tony Ornelas is asking the question, ask Johnny, did Holmes beat Jay all the time when he played? Exit 7, yes. Marbach Road.
We did all the time. And let me say this. We had such a storied program at Holmes High School, and I hate to see that we're kind of struggling, and I'm hoping that we can turn this around, and I'm willing to do whatever I can to try to make that happen. So just to let all those Husky people know that I'm willing to coach, I'm willing to bring guys in. I mean, we had such a storied program. I hate to see us in the situation that we are now, but yes, we always beat Jay. They never had a chance to beat us. And hopefully we'll be able to turn the program around.
I mean, that was a team that had Wilbur Odom at quarterback. You had the Cash twins, Keith and Carey, and you, John. Dude, I was at. I am class of '95 at Holmes. Okay, sure. I remember going to Northside Stadium, or what is now Gus Stadium, and watching you guys play Clark and having 10,000 people there, and they would put folding chairs outside the end zones, and my family and I would go sit there in the front row of the end zone. Okay, first of all, would never happen again. It's a safety issue. Okay, but back in the '80s, no one gave a crap about that.
They don't care.
I had 4 sisters who graduated from Holmes in the '80s, so that's that.
It was amazing, man. Yeah, it was amazing. You tell people that now, and they'll laugh talking about the Holmes Huskies, but no, we had some great years there. Under Gary Molesky. Like I said, I hate to see the program struggle the way that it is now, and I'm definitely all in and trying to turn that around, man. That was such a storied program.
One of our listeners here, viewers, has a big question for you, Johnny. Okay. Sean Quintero, a friend of the show, friend of me and Mike, he's asking, he wants to know if you like Tejano music.
I do like Tejano music. I do. I even know how to do all the dances, man. Yeah.
There you go,
of course
man.
I do. Yeah, we grew up on Tejano music. What are you talking about?
There you go. Johnny's one of us.
What year did you graduate from Holmes?
I graduated in '87. I'm telling my age. Yes.
87. Okay.
1987.
So you might have been a freshman in that city championship game, Holmes against Judson, where it was 30-29. I don't know if you remember that game.
I was a junior. I was a junior in that game. We won that game. Yeah.
Okay, 30-29. That Alamo Stadium, if I'm not mistaken. I remember being at that game.
Yeah, Alamo Stadium, right? Sure was sold out. Yeah.
San Antonio Express News called that the greatest high school football game of all time in San Antonio, and the Holmes Huskies were victorious, baby.
Yeah, we were able to pull out. They came back the next year, and they kind of upset us. They kind of beat us up a little bit, but that was an amazing game. Just like I said, in San Antonio football was so big back then. There's no reason why we shouldn't be able to bring that energy that we had back in the day I think one thing that kind of hurt us is that I know that we've expanded so much. There's so many more schools. I mean, Northside, they got about 19 high schools now.
Jeez, yeah, man,
My
really
goodness,
expanded.
man. I mean, it's just unbelievable. I mean, every year they pop up another high school. But it will be great for San Antonio to get back to where it was. I believe that when I was at Holmes, I believe we were number 2 in the country. I mean, we were one of the top teams in high school in the country. So I know the talent is still here. I'm looking for us to get some high school teams to bring that kind of energy.
Real fast, Drew Show with a $5 super chat. Another one coming in saying, at this point, if Dak's not a top 10, 5, or 3 quarterback to get the last extension, Walker's right. If Dak can't win the Super Bowl, pay him. If you can pay him, if you can win it, pay him. If you can't, just move on.
Yeah. You can show me better than you can tell me. You know what I'm saying? You got to pull it out. If you want the top contract, you're gonna have to be the top quarterback, and to do that, you're gonna have to win the big games. And he hasn't done that yet. And trust me, I am a Dak Prescott fan. I think he's a great talent, great quarterback. He just hasn't been able to win the big games. And not to put all the blame on him, there's been some games where he really shined in the playoffs, and they just, Dallas Cowboys fell flat. So, but like I said, if you want the big contract, you got to be able to bring in the big wins as well.
Dak Prescott with a 2-5 all-time playoff record. Talking to Johnny Walker, before we let you go, congratulations again, by the way. You got the first win of the season for Somerset Academy Collegiate. Tell me what you're doing out there. And I had a bird's eye view of what was going on. Tell us what was going on.
Yeah, did you? You were the announcer of the game, man. Everybody was crazy. They were excited about, who's this guy, man? He's good. Bring him back. So I had to give you a phone call. Hey, man, I don't know what you were telling them, but they loved you. So, I am the director of SLAM, and SLAM is a program that we have here. It's out of Miami, and it's called Sports Leadership, Advertising, and Management. So what we do is we allow kids the opportunity starting in 6th grade to be able to develop their brand. And I say brand because NIL is such a big deal now. Develop their brand, start branding, elevate in their social media, bring that on board with what they're doing athletically. And it's been a great program. I think it was something, when I heard about it, I was excited about being a part of it. I wasn't intending on coaching, but I felt like to be able to build our brand, the SLAM brand, I wanted to come out and coach and to be able to take a team. And this is huge now. They were a 6-man football team last year. To be able to come out to play our first game ever, 11-man football, and to be able to pull off a victory, that was something amazing. And I think everybody was excited and they felt the energy. So we plan on continuing to build this program and take it to another level.
Beating Charlotte, the Trojans out there, man. Yeah. And not only that, in dramatic fashion, with a fumble return, return 50 yards to the house, I think is how I phrased it there. But I was nervous announcing early on, by the way. I was nervous. Come second quarter, I was perfectly fine. I was getting some of those. I was getting some of those Coming to America lines. That boy, good. That was me. By the way, someone just alerted me to this. Tim Gonzalez, one of our viewers, says, I saw on YouTube that Holmes had a rap video back in the 80s.
All right, we did.
Okay, first of all, I found it. Oh. So let's play it in the background once this commercial for LaBerge ends here. Holmes High School 1986 called Husky Proud. How am I not aware of this? Joe, if you want to show this real fast.
That was huge, man.
That's Lisa Burkhart from formerly of Ken's back in the day. Look at this. Yeah. Please tell me what's going on these plays.
Man, that was a Clark game, man. I actually was on the sideline. I think they see me on the suit, but yeah, that was a big time game too. I think we beat them 31-30. That was the first time we beat them in like 6 years, so that was huge.
And now tell me about the rap. Were you part of the rap?
I was part of the rap. You'll see me back in the back. A little different there. I had long hair back then, but you know what? It was funny. I don't think our Coach Molesky was so reserved, and I think the Chicago Bears had put out a video, and so they wanted to do something similar to that. There I am.
This is amazing. This is amazing.
Yeah. So we had a lot of fun doing it. It was at that time we were the number 2 ranked team in the country, which had never happened in San Antonio. So we thought we'd have some fun with it, and we were able to go out and make a music video. And by the way, back then we had the top 10 at 10 or whatever. So we were number one for a couple of weeks with our rap video. So had some fun with it, man.
where was this videotape? Was it?
I was in San Antonio. Yeah, it was at a studio. Yeah. That's going back. That was fun.
Before I let you go, one last thing. How can you explain to people? Because my girlfriend makes fun of me because I was telling her about my high school. And I showed her photos of the school, like aerial photos, the round buildings. The only high school I think ever around with round buildings. Can you please explain how special or how weird that is?
I can tell you how special it was because one of the pranks that we always used to do to all the incoming freshmen is we tell them to get to their class, they had to go down to the end of the hallway and take a right. But you can't take a right when the building's in a circle. So that was always interesting to be able to do that and to see the confused look that they had on their face after they had walked around the building twice. So, and then we would be nice enough to tell them actually how to get to the class. But no, Holmes was a unique school when it was built 1968. It was one of the first of its kind. It was one of the biggest high schools of its kind in San Antonio. And again, like I said, it's such a storied school, storied program, and we're looking to get Holmes back to where they need to be. So I'm looking forward to seeing that.
People are calling this the Holmes High School Super Bowl Shuffle. They love the rap video. I'm glad that we were alerted to this. By the way, people are saying Sam Salita saying stupid fish. Freshman row. Give me a final score for tomorrow's Michigan game against UT. You got UT. Give me a score.
I want to say 35-17. 35-17.
Oh my God!
Texas win.
Do you know what my score was going to be?
35.
34-17. I was saying 34-17.
Okay.
It's kind of like Price is Right. You just went one without going over. I was going to say 34-17. Joe, what do you got tomorrow's game?
I was thinking the same thing, 35-17.
Right around there.
I really do. Yeah, I think if Texas comes out and takes care of business and gets on them early, you're going to force Michigan to have to throw the ball. And as you know, looking with their young quarterback, Davis Warren, I don't think they're very good at throwing the football. I don't think Michigan ever really has. I think J.J. McCarthy's been one of their best quarterbacks at throwing the football. I think it'll put a lot of pressure on them trying to keep up with what we're able to do offensively, and that's going to put them in a bind. I really do believe that.
Yeah, I don't think they have any ability to come back. If Michigan falls behind early, it's done. It's done. Yeah.
And I want to tell all your listeners this too. We are having a game watch party at Perry's Pizzeria, right off of 1604, and y'all are all welcome to come. Bring your burnt orange, bring your pom-poms, your towels, whatever. So we're gonna have a big time, and hopefully we see you out there too as well. So see you guys out there as well.
Very nice, man. Appreciate the invite. That is Johnny Walker, not only a Texas Longhorn great, he's also a Holmes Husky great, just like me. He's a great. I'm a good. That's Johnny Walker, man. Thanks for being on, brother. Appreciate it.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it, man. Good luck to y'all. All right.
Yeah. Dude, I'm more and more confident now in the Texas Longhorns. I was thinking to myself, man, that 7-point spread seems like a lot. Now I'm like, nah, man, shoot, I'll give you 12 points.
Oh, my God. But you know what? We got to give some love to one of our sponsors, man. Let's go ahead and give some love to MCS General Contracting.
Let's do it.
MCS General Contracting, more than 30 years of combined experience in concrete placement. They are the best in the business, honest pricing, high quality work. They get going on house foundations, driveways, concrete patio decks. If you want to extend the deck, extend the driveway. If you're a business and you need to put together a slab, a parking lot, or other concrete placement services or sidewalks, reach out to MCS General Contracting at 210-774-9155. They're confident in their skills, so give Chris Leha over at MCS General Contracting a call at 210-774-9155. And thank you for being a sponsor of this show.
Diamond Hard Concrete, baby. Had more rain at the house yesterday. Everything's perfectly fine over there, man. The water went where it was supposed to go. MCS General Contracting, I am a customer of them as well. They do a fantastic job. I want to see what they can do, because I know that I have a family member who's asked them to quote for a basketball court.
Yeah, pickleball. Do one in your backyard.
Let's make it happen, baby.
There you go. And if you want it done right the first time, and not cheap, but right the first time.
Right.
You go with MCS General Contracting. They have 30 years of combined experience. And again, you want it done right the first time, you call MCS. If you call the other guys that are going to, I know a guy that can do it cheaper, is going to cost you twice as much.
Most definitely, most definitely. Let's give some love to Jeff Garcia from Locked On Spurs and Ken's 5 because he provides us that daily content when it comes to our silver and black.
Yep. Locked On Spurs is your daily Spurs podcast, hosted by Jeff Garcia, the lead Spurs writer for Ken's 5 San Antonio. Jeff has a healthy plethora of guests all the time on the Locked On Spurs podcast. You can also follow Jeff on Threads at Jeff G Ken's 5 SA. You can also follow Jeff on Twitter at Jeff G Spurs Zone. So make sure you go ahead and give Jeff a follow not only on Threads and Twitter, but also on YouTube at youtube.com/@LockedOnSpurs. This is where you're going to be able to find the replay of the Locked On Spurs podcast. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share.
All right, so here's an article from Jeff Garcia on Locked On Spurs. It's on kens5.com. You can link to it on Twitter and Threads at Jeff G Spurs Zone. Saying Shaquille O'Neal, former Cole High School standout, doubting that the Spurs' Victor Wembanyama can be dominant, and an article about it that I guess the Hall of Famers throwing some shade at Wemby.
Does it surprise you, though?
He was on the Pat McAfee show. Shaq questioned if the 2024-2025 Rookie of the Year can be dominant taking jump shots. Okay, so here's the thing about it. Shaq is getting pissed off because you see Wemby at 7'5", right?
Yeah.
They're two different types of players, man.
Two different styles.
Two different styles. Dude, Wemby is more Kevin Durant than he is Shaquille O'Neal.
He's more of a finesse player. He doesn't have to bang bodies in the paint because he can shoot.
He doesn't. You know, okay, because what was Shaq? 7 foot? 7'1"?
7'1".
7'1"?
He couldn't shoot. He would just bulldoze his way in there.
Bully ball his way through. Which, by the way, you can't get away with that much anymore,
not
right?
anymore,
Unless you're LeBron. It's two different things, and this is why I get frustrated about it all, is that people think that you have to play a certain way because you're a certain position, right? Magic Johnson was not a prototypical point guard. David Robinson was not a prototypical center either. David Robinson was a gazelle. David Robinson was a 7'1" East center, a 7-foot small forward. I never saw David Robinson as a center. He played center because he was 7 feet tall. The same reason why someone who's 7'4", 7'5" in Victor Wembanyama has to play the 5. Screw you.
You know, Shaq.
Not you. Screw you, Shaq. Go. You know what? That take is just like the General's insurance, man. Garbage.
You know, Shaq, he's one of these, I guess, San Antonio alum, you know. We have a connection with him, right? Because he used to go to Cole High School way back when.
Right.
It just seems like he never gives San Antonio the love that it deserves. If anybody has to shit on the city or any of the teams, players, it's always going to be Shaq, man.
Yeah.
You can't never just say, oh, Tim Duncan was a great player. He's all right. You know, everybody else, they all right.
They all right.
You know, he never won back-to-back championships. He always has something negative to say. You can't say nothing positive about the city that you grew up in.
The Spurs were an era. The Spurs were a generation of greatness. The Spurs had 3 titles in 5 years. The whole thing about you need to have back-to-backs to win to be a dynasty is one of the stupidest things because you get 3 out of 4, you get 3 out of 5. I mean, come on, man. It just is what it is. Again, Jeff Garcia from Locked On Spurs. Kevin, he has an article also that he posted about an hour ago talking about Kevin Garnett and his impression of the Spurs getting Chris Paul and what that means for Victor Wembanyama's performance, what it means for his development. Again, you can read an article from Jeff Garcia about what both Shaq and Kevin Garnett have to say. Kevin Garnett, though, hated the Spurs, but I think more and more as time has gone on, I think he reveres the Spurs more often. When you hear him talk about Duncan, when you hear him talk about Wemby, he loves them.
Oh, yeah. The thing that he couldn't stand is he couldn't stand Tim Duncan because Tim Duncan was just that good.
He was the one, like he'd be the dominant power forward in the 2000s if it wasn't for Duncan.
And Duncan was Kevin Garnett's kryptonite because the one thing that Kevin Garnett could not do
get under the skin.
Get under the skin, and it didn't matter how hard he tried. If he got one over on Tim Duncan, he'd be like, "That was a good play."
Yeah.
You want to guard me? Maybe you go push me more to my left.
Yeah. So there was one time when I saw a podcast with Kevin Garnett where he was saying that the talking of trash that Duncan had was got you. or whenever he'd miss a shot, he'd look at him and go, almost. he goes, 1 or 2 word trash talks is all that Tim did, and it was under his breath. You gotta love Tim for that.
Oh my God, dude. Tim Duncan, that had to have been like one of the most upsetting things to Kevin Garnett. Even when he almost gave him that kiss, when he was yelling in his face and Tim Duncan's just laughing at him, smiling at him. Oh, man.
But one's got 5 rings. I think the other one only has 2, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and there was a post here that was going on the X that I saw, and it was from an excerpt from a what do you call it, podcast that Gilbert Arenas does. And they were talking about Tim Duncan and Kevin Garnett, and what if in the worlds of what if Tim Duncan had played for the Minnesota Timberwolves and Kevin Garnett played for the San Antonio Spurs. They said the Spurs wouldn't have missed a beat back then if they had Kevin Garnett. They probably still would have went on to win some championships. They said if Tim Duncan had played on the Timberwolves team, with the cast of characters Kevin Garnett had, Tim Duncan no doubt would have gotten him out of the first round of the playoffs.
Yeah, Duncan is the better player because Duncan's the better leader. I mean,
True that.
Let's just call it what it is. And those are the intangibles of being a great in any sport. Nothing wrong with Kevin Garnett, dude. Kevin Garnett was a great player, but could he have meshed with Tony? Could he have meshed with Manu? I don't think so, man.
Could he have been coached by Coach Pop? I don't think so.
Yeah, and that has something to say with it, man. You take a look at Xavier Worthy yesterday from the Kansas City Chiefs. 2 touchdowns in his first game in the NFL. Is he doing that with the Carolina Panthers?
Nah.
Is he doing that with Kellen Moore maybe as the offensive coordinator? No. He's doing it because he has Andy Reid's offense. He has Patrick Mahomes there. He has Kelsey there. Sometimes you're put in the right position, and other players are put in bad positions. Baker Mayfield is a quarterback who I think would be a legit, decent quarterback in the NFL. Maybe not top 10, but top 12, top 15. Hasn't played that way his career. Why? Put in a bad position every time. Now he finally has some normalcy. He's not being bounced around from team to team to team. So a lot of it is not only talent, but it's also who picks you up at that time. Dak Prescott would not have been Dak Prescott if he got picked by any other team.
No, he would not have. It took a perfect storm, so to speak, in order for the Cowboys to go ahead and get one Dakota Rain Prescott, because that was at the time when they desperately needed a quarterback, and Tony Romo was basically on his last legs. He was always injured. He was at the tail end of his career. And the Cowboys, they got lucky with Dakota Rain Prescott. They took a chance on him, and he panned out for them. He is, in fact, I'd have to say, even though I'm biased, top 10 quarterback in the NFL.
He is.
No doubt.
No
doubt. One of the things that we're going to talk about, since we're talking on the subject of Dallas, the other team that they got in Dallas Mavericks. Look at this. I saw this earlier today, Morvy. He puts the Mavs just announced they opted out of Bally Sports and will air 70 games locally for free. Wish the Spurs would do the same. That is not going to happen, but look at what the Mavs did for their fan base there. They inked a deal with their local station out there, the WFAA. They're owned by Tenga.
The ABC affiliate over there.
ABC affiliate. And they signed a multi-year deal to broadcast the team's games over the air to fans for free.
That's big market thinking.
That is. I mean, that Dallas is a huge market, media market.
It's big market thinking. They have the ability to do so. They have the relationship with the TV station over there. The Tenga station over here in San Antonio is Ken's 5.
Yep.
So even though it's an ABC affiliate in Dallas, it's the CBS affiliate that is the same company as them over there. What the Mavericks are doing is they're jumping ahead of things. I mean, they're treating their fans correctly. Bally Sports and the app is trash.
It is garbage, dude. I got to agree with you. It works when it wants to, and you're paying for that.
Right. And it's a bad product, and the Mavericks are thinking like a big market because they are a big market, and we're going to stick around with Bally's because that's just what we do.
Yeah.
And it's the bankruptcy case that Bally's has. Bally's is just a bad product.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, what happens is that the markets will go ahead and bid for games. That's the same thing that happens
Fox
with
Sports
Tango.
Southwest was really good.
Yeah, and unfortunately, they went under during that merger with Disney and Fox and all that. They couldn't carry that station anymore, carry that. But what happens with CBS here in town, since they are owned by Tenga, they have an agreement with the NBA to go ahead and show so many local games per year. Same thing happens, I believe, with CW. They show so many games, local games, that are broadcast over the airwaves here. And it's just a handful. I think in the gamut of things, you're looking more around maybe 10 games, 12 games, I think, that are broadcasted every year for free. The majority of them are going to be on, Bally Sports app. They're going to be on your ESPNs, TNT, things of that nature.
Well, I like it when Ken's airs games.
I do too. I
mean, it's and then they typically will have like a Michelle Beadle come in.
Local. Yeah.
They make it more of a local broadcast, man. Let's show my screen real fast.
Yeah.
Is Taylor Swift a Nugget? Taylor Swift was at last night's game between the Chiefs and the Ravens. And the outfit she wore was kind of hot. I mean, even those people who are like, nah, I don't think she's attractive or not, they were checking out this outfit saying to themselves, she had it going on last night.
She always does. But you know what? The guy, the security guard, is coming out, pushing everybody out of the way. Gotta move. Here comes Taylor. And the one guy, the reporter, whoever it was, the media guy that's right there with the camera, she saw him, and she just kind of looked at him like, doesn't bother me.
Is she going to be part of the baddie brackets next year?
Probably, dude.
I mean, I've always thought she was attractive, right? I've never thought she was hot. But
she stepped up her game now with you know what it is? It's the cowboy boots, man, and the shorts.
She stepped it up. She looks good in denim.
You never said that about her like this until she wears those cowboy boots and those shorts, man.
I mean, she has a pretty face.
Oh, look at Sam Salinas. Taylor Swift equals a big no.
Dude, I'm sorry, man. Okay, let me just say it this way. This right here is a billionaire, a self-made billionaire, and a complete sweetheart. I'm sorry. That's a 10.
Nah, I don't know about that, man. She all right, but she ain't no 10.
That's a 10, baby.
You know who's a 10? Salma.
Oh, I mean, yeah, but
Salma Hayek, man.
And Salma Hayek is actually seems to be a pretty good person and all that stuff. But Salma married into her billionaire status. Taylor made herself into a billionaire status. Tonight, more NFL action tonight. We've got the Eagles and the Jets. I know Cowboy fans will be watching this game.
Oh, look at speaking of Cowboy fan, we got a 199 incoming super chat. Mario Cavazos already calling his shot, man. He's saying, "Puro pinche Cowboys." He believes they're gonna best the Browns, should I say, 17-13.
I like that score, but I'm gonna flip that one. I got the Browns winning that game at that price. At that, it's gonna be a low scoring game. It just is. But tonight, I know Cowboy fans are going to be excited about this game. They're going to be cheering for the Packers for once because the Packers are taking on the Eagles. They're playing in São Paulo, Brazil. Again, NFL finding a way to get out of the law that prevents them. The loophole to prevent them that prevents them from playing on Fridays. They're like, screw that. We'll just go to Brazil. Screw you and your laws. We're going to go over here to Brazil. Those laws don't exist over here.
There you go. And I'm going to go ahead and show that on my screen here. This is the tip time and everything for the game. Again, man. Peacock's coming in big for the win. Thursday, they own Thursday night. They're owning Friday night. They're making you guys, the consumer, go out and say, you know what? I have to get the Peacock now.
I liked it on Peacock yesterday.
It was a good show. They had great announcers, by the way. The only thing that I don't like is that other guy. What's his name? That one announcer that they always have there.
Oh, I
forget his name. He's so annoying, though.
Eagles favored by 2.5 points tonight. I'm going to tell you what. Packers are winning this game.
The Packers are winning?
I think the Packers are going to thump the Eagles. I think the Eagles are going to win the division, the NFC East. But I think this Packers team is legit, man.
You know what they're calling this matchup?
What's that?
Love hurts.
Love hurts. Love hurts.
Love hurts, bro.
Who do you got? I'm going to say Packers win this game 30-17.
Oh, man, I don't know. I think it might be a little closer than that. I think the final score will probably be something closer to like 23-17, something like that, 24-17. I think the Packers wind up finding a way to win, but I think Hurts is going to have a hell of a game. He's going to have a hard time trying to find that open man downfield.
Mm-hmm. I agree, man. I think the Packers defense is pretty solid. I think the running game, adding Josh Jacobs, is a big deal. I think Jordan Love being better, man. So Tony Ronaldo with some fighting words for Chris Lehow, saying that Salma's a 7 at best. By the way, TMZ is reporting, going back to Britney Mahomes and Taylor Swift, they did not sit with each other at the game like they had all last year.
Oh, really?
And they believe it's because Britney Mahomes has come out as a Trump supporter.
You think so?
I don't know. So TMZ says, although Taylor Swift has not endorsed a candidate for the 2024 election, she has been after Trump in the past. Britney Mahomes has said that she favors Trump over Kamala Harris. Isn't it weird how politics divides friends?
It is, but what should it matter? Like, whatever you believe or your affiliation. I mean, if you're friends, you're friends,
No, I don't know, man. I see a lot of friends break up because of this. I know a lot of guys who are conservative who can't find dates on dating apps because one of the things that you'll find on dating apps, and I know because I've been on them recently.
Oh, no.
They do, so many women post on there, if you're a Trump supporter, do not like my pictures. Do not send a like. Do not send a request. Not going to see you. And it's a thing. There are now some apps coming out there for quote-unquote conservative dudes, and it's like 30-1 dudes to girls. I don't know. It just is what it is, man.
Some of our
that's the
listeners
world we live in.
Are calling their shot already. 31-28, Tony Ornelas says, Packers going to win. And then we got Hanover Fist saying, Eagles will win.
It's going to be a great game. This is the game that I'm looking forward to as well, man.
Yeah, and Tim Gonzalez is saying there are some college football games that are going to be played tonight.
There is, and also keep in mind, in entertainment news tonight, Beetlejuice comes out.
Beetlejuice.
Do I want to go watch that, or do I want to watch football tonight?
I'd rather watch some football, man. I see that on Saturday.
Yeah, I guess.
That's what I'm
we didn't get Johnny Walker's impression on the Texas State UTSA game. Do I have to call which team I'm cheering for?
Oh, we should have asked him.
Do I need to do a reveal?
You do need to do a reveal because you're on the eve of the game.
I haven't decided.
You have to decide, man.
I want to go to the game.
I'm going for UTSA.
I have no one to go to the game with tomorrow.
Daisy? You find her?
Dude, don't do that.
I'm
That's
saying,
sad,
you'll
man.
find her on the street
I've had
somewhere.
Daisy for 11 years, dude. She's gone.
No,
she's gone.
she'll come back, dude.
Dude, dogs run away, man. If it's
they
2 or 3
run
years.
away, but they can also find their way back
If
home.
it's if it rains, she can't smell her way back home.
No, but they know, instinctively they know where their home's at. I bet you anything, she'll wind up coming back.
All right, I'm going to go on the Nextdoor app real fast to see if anyone has any comments on Daisy, and I know they don't. I know they don't. Daisy's gone.
They'll probably put it up. Nextdoor is really good when it comes to like posting pictures. Hey, this dog showed up in my yard. If you see that picture, hey, this dog showed up in my yard and it's Daisy, call them immediately and say, can you just hold my dog for me? I'm going right there, because if not, she'll just find a way to escape from the yard.
Brutal. Hey, you got me thinking about the dog. By the way, I got a text message about 5 minutes ago from a friend of mine who is driving to Dallas, and she posed the question, where did you go eat Pancho's?
What?
Remember Pancho's Mexican?
I remember Pancho's. They don't have it. It used to be over here off of Marbach.
Yeah.
Closed down now.
So I went to the one in Fort Worth. There's like 4 of them still around.
I think they got one in Houston as well.
There's 2 in Houston, one near Dallas, and one in Fort Worth. And I told her I went to the one in Fort Worth. She goes, I'm going to Dallas. I want to go. Dude, it was so disgustingly good.
Ugh. The only thing that was good from Pancho's were the sopapillas, dude, with the honey. Those were good. But everything else was booty crumbs, man.
Sam Salinas reminded us that Fright Fest opens tomorrow.
It does, man.
At SeaWorld San Antonio. I do have passes.
And you know what? That's going to be super packed, too, if you're going to go out there, man. You just walk around.
The spooktacular.
Get scared, maybe. You know what I'm looking forward to? I want to go to the Haunted Hayride, man. They still have one here in town.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to take my little niece out there.
Dude, fall is here, baby. It's going to be down to the 60s tonight, if I'm not mistaken.
Fake fall, like everybody's always saying.
Oh, they call it the false fall. Yeah. It happens twice.
Everybody's going to be busting out the sweater weather. Look at Puro Pinche Sports. Eagles 31, Packers 21. By the way, and can't wait for the Noche UFC card tomorrow. That's what I'm talking about.
I have no idea what that means.
That I believe that one's going to be the first event that they're going to have in the Sphere sports event, you know, and that was going to be UFC. I believe it's 306. So that's going to be a heck of a fight, man. That's going to be happening actually September the 14th. So it's not this Saturday, it's next Saturday. The headliner for that one is going to be Sugar Sean O'Malley. So I'm going to be watching that one for sure.
By the way, did you can you hear audio on this thing?
Oh yeah, you can. You should be able to hear the audio.
Let me see if I can find it first. I don't know if you saw this, but Linkin Park is coming back.
Oh, I saw that, man.
They have a new singer to replace the late Chester Bennington.
It's a female this time.
Her name is Emily Armstrong. And I was looking at video last night. Oh, here's a video for.
You got the video finally?
All right.
Yeah, not bad.
I mean, it ain't bad. It's all right.
It's Marbach nice.
Yeah, that's Marbach nice.
Yeah,
So-
we can kill the audio before we get banned.
Okay, I remember when Scott Weiland passed away from Stone Temple Pilots, and you had Chester Bennington from Lincoln Park go over there, which is weird because now he's being replaced by Emily Armstrong. When you saw, okay, so let's go back in time. STP was my favorite band growing up.
Okay.
90s, you know, Core, Purple, Tiny Music, Four,
Yeah.
Shangri-La Di-Da. Loved every album. When they fired Scott Weiland, they brought in the guy from Filter, right?
Yeah.
And they had another band they called Army of Anyone and all that stuff, and it sucked. It
Yeah.
was the band STP. The music was there, but the singer wasn't good enough.
You know what he was good at? When he left STP and he started Velvet
Revolver.
Revolver. That was a good band.
Okay, so when it was a great band with Slash and Duff. So, but later on, Chester Bennington from Linkin Park actually went in and joined STP for about a year or two. I don't know if you remember that. And he was really good replacing Scott Weiland because Chester Bennington was elite. This is not elite. Emily Armstrong it's going to be good for nostalgia purposes, but it's not the same, man.
How long can she keep that voice up, screaming and yelling like that? You know, it puts a strain on the vocal cords.
Yeah, and for what's the guy's name, Mike Shinoda?
Yeah.
The other guy from Linkin Park. I feel bad for him, dude. If you ever watch him on TikTok, I follow him on TikTok all the time. There's a lot of he gets really excited about young people who fall in love with Hybrid Theory and Meteora and all that stuff from the early 2000s.
Yeah.
I fell in love with Linkin Park early 2000s. They had just come out with Hybrid Theory, and back then I was substitute teaching at Lee High School, and it wasn't Lee; it was their magnet school.
Okay.
I think it was called International Something of Americas, International School of Americas, ISA.
Yeah.
And I remember when I was going over there, I was subbing like this one class for like the full week. And they're like, sir, can we listen to music at the end of class? You know, if we finish our work. These are nerdy kids, right? Because they're part of the magnet school. Anyway, long story short, they started playing Linkin Park. And I got super excited about it. They lent me the CD so that I could burn it at home. And I lent them my STP CD so that they could burn it at home. And we were teaching each other's music, right? And I became a really big fan of Linkin Park early on. It was great.
Yeah, you know, one other thing I was thinking about right now, we're talking about singers, you know, leaving bands and they're trying to get replaced, you know, bands trying to replace the lead singer once they leave. One of the bands that I've liked for a while, you know, Journey,
I knew you were going to go
they
there.
went ahead and replaced, you know,
The Filipino guy.
with the Filipino guy.
Yeah.
It's not the same, man.
Dude, his voice is identical to Steve Perry.
It's not, dude. It's not. Steve Perry had such a unique voice. This kid, he's good,
Right.
but he's not Steve Perry. And you know what? Steve Perry comes back once in a blue moon and he'll sing a Journey song. The brother still got it, man. But he's just, that band is never going to get back together. with Steve Perry. Never. In my lifetime. If it happened, believe me, I'd be the first one in line to go ahead and buy those tickets.
I would too. And Steve Perry looks like he's begging for it, but apparently he was a jackass. And nobody wants to play with him anymore. By the way, if you can go to my screen in a second here. Steel Dragon. I don't know if you ever saw this movie, Rockstar, with Mark Wahlberg. We're going back to Mark Wahlberg. It's been a Mark Wahlberg week.
Man.
This is a great movie, man. This is a great movie. This is about a guy.
This looks like the video for Pour Some Sugar on Me, dude. Setting up the stage.
The song stars Mark Wahlberg as a fan of a rock band that goes to their concert one day and sings so well in the audience because he's in the front row that the band takes notice that he's such a good singer that ultimately when they can the lead singer, they bring him into audition and he becomes the new frontman for the band. And this is part of the audition process. Mark Wahlberg, Jennifer Aniston. Dude, this movie is so freaking entertaining, man. I give this movie a solid A-. And the music was great because these were all like original songs. They're not singing like fake songs. They're singing original songs on here. And if I'm not mistaken, there were like 80s metal stars that contributed to this movie, the music and the words to it all. Rockstar was great, man. I'm not going to say that it's like, the greatest movie of all time, but for what it is, it's very entertaining. Is this when he falls down the stairs?
Oh, God. Is it?
He's so good. The lead singer from Third Eye Blind plays the rival singer to this band. Stephen Jenkins of Third Eye Blind. This movie's probably 20 years old, man. It's so good. It's so bad.
I think it's kind of they're making a parody of Def Leppard, dude. If they would have had a drummer with one arm, I mean, that would have been it.
Oh,
dude.
wait. We have a side in here.
Is it Jennifer?
We have a Jennifer Aniston in her prime nugget status. She would have been a 1 seed back in the day.
No, dude. No doubt.
There's some cochino stuff in this movie by Jennifer Aniston.
And that's why they were saying that you like the Cochino Mike would love. Of course, Cochino Mike would love this Steel Dragon movie.
Oh, there are some cochino scenes in that movie.
Yeah.
Just involving like a groupie and a tranny and
look at this.
Lots of things like that.
Tony Ornelas, Mark Wahlberg, seriously underrated actor. Proud of my mijo.
Nice.
Oh, and look at this. Sam Selena says, you got to watch the outtakes. Production prank Mark Wahlberg.
Oh, really? They play Good Vibrations? And remember when Eminem back in the day was trying to like talk crap to Mark Wahlberg when they were on TRL because he was, all because of the Good Vibrations video and stuff. Dude, I mean, Marky Mark, dude, I mean, come on, man. He did what he had to do to be successful. And is he embarrassed by that? Sure, why not? But you know what? Still a good song. He's a one-hit wonder, dude. Dude, Good Vibrations, hell of a song, dude. It's one of the greatest workout songs of all time. Okay, if you had to say the 20 greatest workout songs of all time,
come on, dude. Beach Boys.
No. Good not Good Vibrations. Good Vibrations by Mark Wahlberg.
Okay,
by Mark Wahlberg. Feel the vibrations.
Yeah.
Come on. He's working out in the music video the entire time.
Yeah,
dude.
I remember that song.
Then he's in bed with that girl. Feel it, baby. I do too. Okay, CNC Music Factory. Gonna make you sweat, baby.
Play that one for Jefe.
It's like jock jams. You know what? These are Jefe's jock jams.
Man.
That's what Jeff Garcia listens to at the gym, right?
Jock jams.
Sweat. What's the other one? You all ready for this?
The song you hate when they used to play at the Spurs arena.
Dude, they played that song for like.
You ready for
years.
this? You're like you're rolling your eyes. Mike hates that nostalgic crap that they play at the arena, dude.
Tony says, "Yeah, Good Vibrations is a great workout song for women." You know what? This is the turn that this show has gone on because I'm gonna look up the greatest workout songs because I would even say a lot of the Rocky songs, like the song from Rocky 4,
Eye of the Tiger,
the montage, Eye of the Tiger, greatest workout songs of all time. Okay, let's see what they have. Okay, according to Google here.
Yeah, let's see what it says.
Okay, groupfitnesstips.com. Okay, it has ladies on here, so let's go here.
Oldies workout songs.
Oh, these are oldies. I don't want oldies workout songs.
Sweat to the oldies.
Yeah, R.I.P. Richard Simmons. Okay, so they have here
physical.
Physical by
Jane Fonda.
Olivia Newton-John.
Oh no, yeah, that's it.
Okay, Eye of the Tiger by Survivor. Is Welcome to the Jungle a good workout song?
Welcome to the Jungle.
You Shook Me All Night Long by AC/DC.
I don't know.
Lose Yourself by Eminem. Yes. Turn Down for What by Little John. He sang it at the Democratic National Convention the other day. Gonna Fly Now by Bill Conti. Toxic by Britney Spears. Push It by Salt and Peppa. Oh, dude, you know what? Numb Encore by Linkin Park and Jay-Z. I will agree that's a great workout song.
Look at this one. Midtown,
Pump It by
Texas.
Black Eyed Peas.
Mike jogs to Good Vibration and drinks red wine after.
It's white wine. But
Oh,
still.
look at JHNSB. All of these are so corny, man.
I know. Jason Minix of San Antonio Sports Star would be so upset with me. I guess it all depends on what kind of music you like listening to, right?
Mike works out to flash dance. Oh,
do the dance.
Man.
Is that the
The
one?
leg warmers?
Is that the one where the water gets splashed?
She's on the chair in the water.
I have the exact chair for it. Except if I did it, I'd fall all the way back down.
Oh, man. Hey, man, if you don't find Daisy by Monday, we should bring a picture of her so we can put it on the show. That way,
no one's gonna
if people
find
will
her
see
from here.
man. There's people in the area. Maybe she'll show up, dude.
No one's gonna find her from here.
I'm guarantee you, Mike. I swear, by Monday you're gonna have a sighting of her somewhere, man. Somebody was gonna find her, dude. They're gonna put her up there on Facebook, or they're gonna put her at the Nextdoor. But make sure you get the Nextdoor app because they're always posting pictures of lost animals there. I'm telling you, that's where you're gonna find her, man.
I am not confident at all.
I'm
dude.
confident, man.
I know, man. Everyone's saying that he's just throwing.
No, because I want you to find your dog because she's been missing, and that's not normal for her.
I have no idea how old that dog is. I know I've had her for 11 years. She could be 15 for all I know. Drew Show asking, Mike didn't chip his dog. I did not. And in fact, he had just her collar had been ripped off because the last time she ran away. She digs, dude. That's all she does. She just runs away. And how did I find her? We found her as a runaway.
There you go. She's just friendly, dude. She just likes to walk and hang out with people.
Yeah. Tomorrow's a big game between Michigan and UT. We've already made the announcement that basically the prediction that UT is going to win this game by about 20 running away. It's going to be a blowout, dude.
You think so?
My boy Alex is out there.
You say this, man, but I don't know. I think that game might be a little closer than you think. And if it's a close game, Texas isn't going to get that number one slot. If it's a blowout and they win convincingly, they make their case to be that number one.
I agree. Hey, real fast, I was looking at mysa.com. They're wishing a happy 50th birthday to Bombay Bicycle Club. How did a bar last 50 years?
That's a long time, but it's kind of like not really a bar.
It's a restaurant, but it's. I knew it more as a bar back in the day. Me and Mari Vasquez, formerly of Ken's Five, and Bill Taylor, we'd go out there and just throw down because the one that we'd go to was the one on Fredericksburg Road. I know there's one not downtown. It's kind of like I don't know, kind of like Brackenridge Park area.
Yeah, that's exactly where the location used to be.
Well, congratulations to Bombay Bicycle Club, turning 50. Opened in 1974.
Look at Mario Cavazos breaking news. Daisy was seen walking down Petrenko with the shirtless man with the shopping cart.
Oh, my God.
Bro.
Oh, my God. There's going to be a party on the 7th, which is tomorrow, at the Bombay Bicycle Club on St. Mary's. The event begins at 11 a.m. until 2 a.m. They're going to have a big old party.
They're calling you out, Mike, in the chat. They want you to choose your fighter. They're saying, man, JHNSB says Texas State or UTSA.
I'll make the announcement on Twitter tomorrow. I will. There's a good chance I'm going to be at the game. I was disappointed that a lot of my Texas State, my UTSA friends were like, no, we're not going. Like, why? It's 45 minutes ahead. Why? So think about that. UTSA is going to be going up 35. They've got Texas State, and they've got UT the following week on the 14th.
Yeah, look at that. Midtown Texas. I have a cool Bombay t-shirt.
Nice.
There you go, man. It's going to be a good weekend for sports. We got football on the docket again tonight. You have college football tomorrow. And then Sunday, we got NFL football. We got the Dallas Cowboys playing. Texans are playing. That'd be a good day.
You know what? I think I'm going to have a couple of beers this weekend.
You said you weren't going to drink no liquor.
I
Remember?
said no liquor.
Now your beer limit at any given time
is 3.
2 or 3. It depends on what it is, though.
No, if it's a regular
a light beer,
Miller Lite, that's a 3.
If it's a heavy beer,
if it's a heavy Belgian beer, or if it's like
that's 2.
That's 2.
Yeah, you're done.
Yeah, I gotta pace myself.
You get full. That's the thing, is that it's filling.
I get full, fatty, get gassy.
I want to. You're gonna. I know you're gonna fall off the wagon. You're gonna be like, I drank some Fireball.
I'm not finding the Fireball. Sometimes the Fireball finds me. Let's go ahead and call it a show. Call it a weekend. Everyone, and thank you so much for being part of the show today, and thank you for all the super chats. I know Drew's show was a big part of that today.
Yeah, thanks, Drew.
Hit the like button on the way out. By the way, show my number real fast. 210.
Sure, let's go ahead and show it. Let me go ahead and.
I got to get to work, baby. 210-508-0369. That is my cell phone number. 210-508-0369. I'm slinging those investments and insurances. I've got some investment accounts that I'm working on today. I've got life insurance, disability, long-term care, things like that. I'm your guy when it comes to it. 210-508-0369. I've been in business for how many years? 19 years in business.
It's a lot.
Yep. Excited. Got to get to work, though, man.
And what did they tell them? You tell them to go check your ratings. You got good ratings.
Brokercheck.org. You can go on there, type up Michael Jimenez in San Antonio. You'll find me on there. You'll see all my licenses and all that stuff. And you'll also see that I have 0 disclosures, which means that I have no arrests. I have no financial issues of my own. I have no client complaints, none of that. And, man, even the best of advisors have them. Yeah. But for some reason, I don't know.
You don't want to jinx yourself.
My clients like me. Everyone have a fantastic day. Go Longhorns. Go Texans. Go Browns. And Texas State, UTSA, still haven't decided.
I say you're going to pick UTSA.
I'll wear a shirt tomorrow. Everyone have a fantastic weekend. We'll be back tomorrow.
See you, boys. Peace.